PopCultureZone.com is your go-to online comic shop focusing on hot new comics and incentive variants, CGC graded keys, and tons of other pop culture inventory including toys, statues, and other collectibles, all available at competitive prices. Don't miss out on taking advantage of their spend $25 for bargain deals option. How does this work? Simply add $25 of product to your cart and receive special deals and discounted prices on countless other inventory. Pop Culture Zone ships all over the US, and for anyone buying raw comics, they offer the flat rate shipping charge of only $5. Taxes are also excluded from all purchases, excluding New Jersey residents. Make sure to check out their website link below and also the link to their eBay store where they have held a 100% positive feedback score from thousands of reviews, so be sure to follow them there as well. And also, if you are in need of top tier pressing at extremely affordable prices, make sure you check out their link for pressing services.
All right, we're going to bring up some data, folks, and this is what's really important today. This is going to be very, very important today, and what I want everyone watching to understand here. Let me share my screen. Give me one moment. All right, folks, what you see here is a few things that we're going to break down. If you guys watched my video where I was talking about the bait and switch, I originally offered this guy $400 for what he said was 11 long boxes that weren't all full. We estimated about 2,500 books. I asked him if he knew what he wanted for it. He said no. He said, I had no idea. And in the pictures, all I saw was stuff like this. I saw some Valiant, some Image, and I saw a couple of like Brave and the Bolds here and there, Bronze Age Brave and the Bolds, a couple of Copper Marvel stuff. It was dollar bin fodder for the most part of what I saw. I didn't see anything of any value at first. He didn't have any offer for me. So as a business, as a dealer, as a reseller, I have to protect myself. And I offered him $400. I offered him $400 originally, which comes out to about 16 to 17 cents a book, give or take. Now that's still probably higher than what a lot of LCSs would have given him. He then showed me a few more pictures. And I was like, okay, there was like one book in there. There was like a $20 book. There was like one $20 book that I saw. But still, there wasn't much of anything. And I gave him an offer of $750. And that was like my final offer. And that was roughly a little over 30 cents a book. Okay. We're going to look at the numbers right here, though. And everyone was getting on me. Everyone was getting on me for offering him $750 for about 2,500 books. So this is what we're going to do. If you look over here to the left, guys, 250 comic books at $750 is 30 cents a book. All right. But from talking with him and knowing what was in his collection, about 30% of it was 90s indie. And no, I didn't even see any Spawn #1s or anything like that. It was mostly Valiant. If it was Image, it was like the most random Image stuff that you can ever find. And, we're talking like quarter bin stuff that won't even sell. So that means you can look at it this way. That means I'm paying $225 for 750 90s indie books that I can't sell. So right there, that's trash. It's basically trash. I will throw some books in. When people buy books, I'll throw them in as fillers for free. That's what I would use those for. Give them away in contests or something like that. So essentially, I'm spending $225 expecting to get no return on. That books that I'm going to throw in the trash, that are going to sit in my inventory, or that I'm going to give away for free. So another way to look at it is you could get rid of those and say, well, technically, if we minus those 750 books, I'm only buying 1,750 books then for $750. So what does that mean? That means I'm paying 43 cents a comic book. All right. And roughly, we worked it out to about 30% of that was DC, 40% of it was Marvel. All right. 500 of it was 90s modern. So that's more stuff that either is going to sit and not sell even for 50 cents. So that's another $250 that I spent on 90s modern stuff that, and I don't have a shop. I don't have a shop. I sell online. It's not going to move. It's not going to move. So that's another $215 down the toilet. So now what do I have left? Technically, I'm buying 1,250 comic books at 60 cents each. Okay? And again, these aren't keys. These are beat up. They're mid-grade. You know, maybe some Brave and the Bold. There was no main titles. There was no Amazing Spider-Man. There was no Detective Comics. There was one Batman book that was like a $25 to $30 book. That's it. There was Willow #1, which ironically got a little hot right now. That book's going for like $30. When before it was maybe a $5 book. But a lot of this type of stuff, a lot of, you know, some modern, random, again, no legacy runs. And when I mean legacy runs, top tier runs like Uncanny X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man, The Avengers, Incredible Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Invincible Iron Man. None of that. So I'm paying 60 cents for that, for those types of books. Now let's look at a hypothetical here, folks. So we're going to look at this top line over on the top bar here. Right here. Now, this is a hypothetical. If I sell one of those books, this is per book. If I sell one of those books at $2 a book, on Whatnot? Whatnot charges a 10.9% fee, which comes out to 22 cents out of that $2. They also charge a 30-cent listing fee, no matter how much the book sells for. They charge a 30-cent listing fee, so that's 22 cents for seller's fees, 30-cent listing fee, and I put all of my books in a new bag and board. I put all of my books in a new bag and board. That's roughly 20 cents per fresh bag and board, plus Gemini mailers. Now, Gemini mailers at the cheapest cost me 75 cents each. That's the cheapest I could get them. On average, so far in my Whatnot sales, the average buyer will buy 3 books. So that means one Gemini mailer per 3 books. So that's why I'm saying that the Gemini mailer cost is $0.25, because I'm dividing the 75 by 3. Okay? Now, how much did the comic book cost me? It cost me 60 cents. Add all these up. I sell a book for $2, 22-cent fee, 30-cent fee, $22 bag and board, 25-cent Gemini mailer, cost of comic. My profit on that book, 43 cents. 43 cents. 43 cents. Now, I'm not even talking about packaging tape. I'm not even talking about paper that I use to print shipping labels. I'm not even talking about ink in my inkjet printer. That is very expensive. I'm not even talking about gas that costs me to drive back and forth to the post office. And guess what I'm not talking about? Time. The time it takes me to grade the book. What if I pressed and cleaned the book? I bagged and boarded the book. I took time to sit and have a sale and sell the book. I took time to organize the books and package the books. So who's paying my hourly wage? No one. Me. My profit margin is paying my hourly wage. And I made, before I can even look at all that other stuff, I'm only in the positive 43 cents on that book. You see what I'm saying here, folks? Fats, appreciate it. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to put the hypotheticals aside, and I'm going to give you a real life example. A real life example. And that's right down here in blue. Real life example, guys. Now, I want to make something very clear here. I have yet to pay under 50 cents a book with all the collections I got. And I'm going to tell you, after I give you this example, how I buy collections and how I price them out. I'm going to tell you guys that, but I'm going to give you guys this example first. So for all of you telling me, whose gram are we ripping off or lowball this and lowball that, I have yet to pay under 50 cents a book. Actually, the last collection I bought, I think it was like 48 cents. Came out to like 48 cents a book. So right there around 50 cents. And that was the lowest I ever paid for any collection. Let's take this. These are numbers from my last sale right here. My last whatnot sale. These are facts. This is real, and I'm showing you guys. All right? Now, for the books that I had for this sale, I roughly paid about 90 cents a book. Some of the books that I was selling, I bought in a collection where I paid $2 a book. Yeah, a bit high, right? And some of them were from the one where I paid 48 cents. The majority of them were books that I bought it for $1 in a collection. So I rounded it out to roughly about 90 cents a book. It cost me 90 cents a unit. All right. So let's look at this. Right here. I brought in before fees, $260 off of 149 units. Again, I sold 149 comic books. And I brought in $260 before fees. Now let's calculate my fees. The 10.9% fees that whatnot charges, $28. The listing fees, total listing fees from that sale, $24. Bags and boards, because I bag and board all my stuff, $30. Okay. Gemini mailers, $14 of Gemini mailers. Okay. My cost for what I pay for the comics, $134. So how much profit did I get off of that sale? And I'm not even taking into consideration fixed costs. $30. $30, guys. Now, let's add more context. Again, packaging tape, paper, printing paper, printer ink, gas money, time. So let's do this. Let's look at labor, folks. Let's look at labor. Now, I'm doing this as a job. It's what pays my bills and puts food on the table for my kids. I'm doing this as a job. You already saw that when I was done with this show, I bought the books. I pressed to clean some of them. I graded them. I bagged and boarded them. I filed them. I entered them in. Oh, shoot. I didn't even add that to my labor time, my labor hours, entering them into the Whatnot app. So I didn't even add that. So it would be time, labor, all of that. 2 hours working my live sale. It was a 2-hour live sale, right? A half hour printing shipping labels. 6 hours packaging. It took me 6 hours to package all my books that I sold. A half hour post office run. 2 hours pressing. And I didn't even include about maybe, at least another hour or two entering them into the Whatnot app. Do you know what that comes to per hour, folks? If you look at all of my labor that I'm working, I'm making $2.73 an hour. $2.73 an hour. And that's not even right. That's not even accurate because I didn't include all of my fixed cost. How about the money that I'm paying for internet every month to be able to do live shows? The power that I use to run my lights, my PG&E bill. Gas. I didn't even include gas from going back and forth to the post office. So I'm not even making $2.73 an hour. So this is what I have to say to you folks. All of you folks that are out there saying, I can't stand flippers and resellers, lowballing. And don't get me wrong, we could do a whole nother video on what's ethical and what's unethical. There are slimy people out there looking to get over on folks. And we'll talk about that a little bit today too. But to anyone out there saying, you're going to offer this guy pennies to the dollar, you know what my reply is? Will be? Tell the guy wanting to sell the collection to sell them individually himself. Tell the guy that wants to sell his 1,000 or 2,000 80s and 90s comic books or modern comic books that he paid $2 each for, $3 each for, $4 each for. Tell him to get on Whatnot, to bag and board them, price them, grade them, and get on Whatnot and spend hours and hours and hours a week, a month. Tell him to spend hours upon hours bagging and boarding and shipping just for him to make $2.73 an hour. Tell him that, because I guarantee you the majority of these individuals that are trying to get their collections off ain't gonna freaking do it. No, ain't nobody in their right mind gonna do this unless you really have the drive and the love to build a brand, because it's your dream to one day own a comic book shop. So the point that I'm making here, and this is what I tell anybody that hits me up saying, I got a collection, I want to sell it. You know what I tell them? I give them the tips. Never do I sit there and try to scam anybody. I tell them straight up. I say, I'm buying this for my business. I'm a dealer. I buy in bulk for a reason. The myth is that selling more comics will get you more money. False. False. Selling more comics at once is bulk buy, and it's going to attract dealers, flippers, and resellers. And I ask them, what do you want to do? The more time that you put in to your selling your collection, the more you're going to get for it. If you want to take the time to price your books out and sell them individually, more power to you. And you know how many times I help them? I go on Cover Price, I look at eBay sold, and a deal never happens. I don't get any. I don't buy the person's collection, but I will take time out of my day to give them tips on how to price their books out. And I tell them, try putting them up on Mercari, Facebook Marketplace. You want top dollar for your books? Price them out, learn how to grade, go buy yourself an Overstreet guide to graded comics, spend $12, $15 on that book. If you work a 9 to 5, come home, spend an hour looking at a couple of your books, trying to grade them, go online, look at eBay sold, look at Cover Price, and list them on Mercari and try to get top dollar for your books. But if you want money fast and you don't want to do the work, you better be knowledgeable of the bulk market. And guys, I'm not sitting here saying that every collection is treated equally. But you got to understand, you're not going to get fair market value, especially if the bulk of your collection is dollar bin fodder. And people just think because they have one or two good books in there that it's the magical item that's going to drive the value of your 1,000 book up. When in reality, somebody like me in my position, I need a collection to have a few keys, because guys, I'm gonna be working for $2.73 and taking losses. I took losses on many of those books. I lost. The only reason I was able to make $2.73 an hour was because for 20 books that I sold and lost money on, there was one book that I gained a little money on. That's a fact. Let me repeat myself. The only reason I was able to make $30 profit and essentially make $2.73 an hour on my last sale was because of every $15 to $20 books, 15 to 20 books that I lost money on, there was one or two books that I actually gained money on.